Hi, my name is Anya, and I'm a first-generation Polish American. I grew up in Chicago, right around Brickyard Mall and Reese Park, and it's the west side of Chicago, and grew up speaking Polish as my first language. My parents came here from Poland in 1981, and I was born in 85, so my brother and I were the very first of the entire family to have been born here. And it was an experience growing up as a first-generation American. We had to translate for our parents constantly. They left their vocations back home and had to start from scratch, not knowing the language, but they did speak Polish and Russian, and my dad quickly picked up on Spanish, picked up on English, but by the time my brother and I were about 2, 3, 4 years old, I mean, they were still struggling learning the language, so we kind of had to fend for ourselves. That just sounds so trivial and tragic, but it was cool. It was picking up 2 different languages at the same time. And so when I worked at a restaurant during college, my little line to people when they're like, "Oh, Anya, what kind of name is that?" I would say it's Polish, and I'm first generation American, always establishing that immediately, let it be known. And I start telling them about growing up, and they're like, "Oh, do you speak it?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And so like my little joke line that I would always tell my customers just to break the ice would be, so I grew up speaking Polish primarily first, and I learned English just fine because I would watch Sesame Street, and so since my mom couldn't afford a babysitter and I'd be sitting in front of the TV while she's working, with her, I'm like on the premises, she didn't like leave me at home in front of the TV. She would put me in front of Sesame Street, and I would sit there like a good little Polish girl and watch all the different characters, and I learned up. I picked up on it really quickly, and I pretty much spoke English just fine by the time I got to first grade, second grade. And when we started doing numbers, that's where I was a little off, because I would raise my hand and I would go 1, 2, 3, and then people would just laugh naturally, and then the tips go up and everything. So the financial benefits of knowing 2 languages, but yeah, it's definitely an experience. And so what I want to do, what my challenge for myself is with this video blog challenge is I want to consistently produce video content that engages and catalyzes, stimulates the dialogue between first generation Americans. I want to connect with other first generation Americans. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your story, and I want to hear how you relate to me. If you're Indian American, if you're Greek American, I don't care where you're from. If you're first generation American, talk to me. Let's chat. I'm collecting stories right now. Next year, my goal is to publish a book, different vignettes, different little stories of first generation Americans. So Facebook page, facebook.com/first generation American, and it is my place to connect with you. I want to hear your side. I want to put these stories together, and it's a part of American history, and we should document it.